Hello everyone, this is your host Vaibhav. I welcome all of you to today's session of Daily Stock, in which we are going to take a look on the first quarter earnings report for the Wells Fargo, one of the major banks in the United States, and not only in the United States, you can count it as one of the largest bank of the world, and it has done quite well in the first quarter of this new financial year. The earnings are up, the top line as well as bottom line is showing growth, and on most of the parameters, the earnings report is quite good. There was one time FDIC assessment related charge in the last quarter of financial year 2023 that had pulled the net income lower, net income down for the bank, and from that change, the bank seems to be recuperating with its earnings back to the prior average level, and there is some growth as well. And even in this challenging environment, there has been growth. With these earnings, the bank seems well poised for the fiscal year 2024. Now let us go into the details of these earnings report. The net income for the first quarter 2023 stood at $4.6 billion, which stands at $1.2 earning per share. Revenues are up 1%. Now the total revenues are at $20.9 billion. The net interest income is at $12.2 billion, which is lower by 8 percentage point, whereas non-interest income is at $8.6 billion, which is up 17%. The non-interest expense is also up 5 percentage point. Alright, now I am not really going to go into the nitty-gritty or all the details. We will only look at the key points. This is the highlight of the earnings. Here you can see that for the first quarter, the revenues are up in comparison to the fourth quarter of fiscal year 2023, as well as in comparison to the first quarter of last financial year, that is 2023. There is change, and this is on the positive side. The net income is up a lot, you can say, in comparison to the fourth quarter of 2023, and that is because there was big one-time FDIC assessment charge, and now with that being not a big expense this time around, the net income is back to this prior quarter's average. And if we go back in time for the first quarter of 2023, there was the time when the bank was in loss. So there is a turnaround from those days, from the loss of $372 million. Now the bank is making almost $5 billion. It is of course 400 million short of $5 billion, but I'm saying it for the kind of turnaround you are seeing. Let us have a deeper look into this income statement. Here it is, consolidated statement of income. We will have to zoom in a bit. Alright, here it is. We have changes in percentage terms so that we can get a better understanding of what is going on in last few quarters. we have the interest income as well as non-interest income, and taken together we get these total revenues. The total revenues are up in quarterly as well as in annualized terms, in annual terms. This time around, the non-interest income is on the higher side. At the same time, the non-interest expenses are also up, though the growth in non-interest income is comparatively higher than the growth in expenses. That means the Wells Fargo is getting more efficient. The EPS has grown 39% quarter on quarter, whereas it is slightly lower, 2 percentage point lower in year on year terms. So overall, this income statement gives you the sense that the bank is on the solid footing. Its net income is one of the highest in the financial sector, in the banking segment. Along with that, there is this sense that now the worst is behind us. The times were a lot more challenging for the banking sector in the first half of 2023. Now, here onward, I think unless some geopolitical risk emerges out of the blue, or even the ongoing conflict in the Middle East can cast a wider impact. But apart from that, purely from the economics point of view or purely from the fundamental business point of view, the things are on the solid footing, and the bank seems well poised to take the opportunity and deliver value to the customers, to the shareholders, to the employees. Now we turn our gaze to the technical side of the story. This is the short-term price trajectory of the Wells Fargo stock. After its earnings report came in, we have seen increased volatility in its stock price. For the day, the bank started on the positive note because, as I said, the earnings report was quite good. It has shown growth on almost all the parameters, and it is doing well, even though the base effect was quite high for the bank. Even on that higher base, it has been able to deliver as per the expectations. So that's a positive look Wells Fargo is in, and in such scenario, the shareholders have many reasons to believe in this growth story. And if you want to look for newer opportunities to trade and invest, of course, you have to consider its trajectory in the short term, in the medium term, as well as in the long term. First, we are going to look at its price formation in the short run using these candlestick time period of hourly, and afterwards we will also consider the medium term as well as the long term trajectory. For the last few weeks, the movement has been quite limited. It hasn't been going anywhere. It has been consolidating in a very narrow range. And on the short term, the bias has been on the bearish side. But after the earnings report came in, we are seeing some buying on these lower levels. And if you simply count the jump from the lowest point to the highest point, you get a sense that it has risen by around 5 percentage point, and even though it has paired some of those gains, it still remains on the higher side in comparison to where it was prior to the news report release. So that means the investors are feeling confident in the outlook for the Wells Fargo in the second half of this financial year. In such a scenario, we can also be in the reckoning for profiting from that eventuality, and all we have to do is keep looking for the optimum combination of risk and reward, and also the odds need to be in our favor. I feel that in this scenario where the earnings are quite good, the market sentiment is overall helpful, overall positive, and the banking sector, the Wells Fargo in particular, has been quite bullish for a while now. All these factors give give us hope, and in this kind of scenario, it is better to adopt a simple approach of buy on dips. So all we have to do is keep an eye on the price formation. If it makes the formation of higher high and higher low, we can go with the flow and simply look for some correction and the consolidation afterwards where it holds above the prior swing low, and if that happens we will have a good chance of continuity of formation of higher highs and higher lows, and eventuality the stock price again jumping above the immediate swing high. So for us, the price range is narrow. It is not the case that the stock price of Wells Fargo is going to move too much. It's a banking sector stock, and its share price remains to be quite stable. In this scenario, we will have to go with the existing range of the Wells Fargo stock, and it has been limited. So moving forward, if you have to go with the flow and buy the stock of the Wells Fargo, I feel that the price range of around 55 to 56 is going to be crucial. That is where the immediate swing low rise, and if it holds above the immediate swing high of 55.90 to not 55.90, it is 56.90. That is the price range. 57 is going to be crucial, and if the stock of the West Fargo holds close to this range and doesn't really dip too much below that price formation, I feel that in the next few days we can indeed take our chances and go for a long trade while expecting the price formation of higher high and higher low to hold well for us and continue its upward trajectory. Now expanding our gaze to the medium term, where we will be taking daily as our candlestick time frame. In it, you can see that since the start of the year, the stock has rallied upward. It has gained around 15 percentage point, and it has been sitting pretty for last 1 month almost while consolidating in a narrow range. Now on these elevated levels, I feel that more time it spends without dipping below the 55 price range, it is going to be a golden opportunity for us to bait eventually after a few weeks when it is not really dipping below these immediate swing lows. In that circumstances, we can expect a fresh move on the higher side beyond the immediate swing high of 58.40. So for that eventuality, what we need is allow it to consolidate further and watch the price range of the consolidation. It's crucial for the Wells Fargo stock to keep the momentum on the bullish side and not really dip too much from the current price formation. And if it does that, if it continues to consolidate with bullish bias, I think the bullish spurt which we saw after the reports for the the first quarter of fiscal year 2024 were released, we are likely to see it on a much more sustained basis, rallying on the higher side. So this latent bullishness is likely to serve it well in the next few quarters. Now, from the long-term perspective, we will have to consider the immediate rally in which it has rallied more than 30 percentage point, almost close to 40 percentage point from the low of October to this high of March. And in this scenario, I think after having rallied 40 percentage point, if there is consolidation and some correction, it shouldn't really concern much any of the investor, and it can also be then considered as a new, newer opportunity to trade and invest. So for the long-term investors, the opportunity is likely to arise in the next few months, if not in next few weeks. And in that eventuality, all you need to do is be ready for that opportunity as and when it comes. The price formation is of higher highs and higher lows, and as long as the Wells Fargo stock holds above or close to this immediate high, the prior swing high of 50.7, I will be feeling quite confident in the possibility of eventually Wells Fargo starting to rally again on the higher side. So all we need at the current juncture is to allow it to consolidate further, and after consolidation of a few more weeks, we will have much more clarity on the possibility of its move on the higher side. And in the meantime, if it shows some deeper correction and if the price formation changes, then of course we can change our outlook as well, while allowing the outlook to have newer prior price formation taken into account, and then the outlook can be suitably modified. So that's my take looking at the price formation of the Wells Fargo, and it looks well poised for further growth. Its fundamental report, the quarterly earnings report, is on the solid footing. It is showing growth on most of the parameters, and its stock price performance has been on the similar lines as well. So both these factors are pointing to the further growth of the Wells Fargo in coming quarters, and all we need for this possibility to serve us well is to go with the trade with the mindset that our assessment can also go wrong, and if that happens, all we need, all we want is minimization of the possible loss. So for that, we need optimal entry and exit point, and that's where the strategies of buy on dips come into place, comes to help us. And watch out for the immediate swing lows and swing highs on all the three different time horizons, and depending on your time horizon preference, you can go with the trade for long term, for the short term, or for the medium term as per your choice. Now it's time for me to sign off for the day. If you have any query or any idea to share, do write to me the feedback, and I will be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Thank you all for joining in. Have a fabulous day ahead. See you next time.